of this today. My name is Aralola Olamuyiwa. You all know me as Ara, the first female talking drummer of international repute. The reason for this media pally today is to first and foremost say a very big thank you to the organizers and partners who made it possible for me to go on tour in Spain. Speaking of Casa Africa, speaking of His Excellency, the Spanish ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Juan Ignacio Cell. Also, NTDA, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Chief Larry Coker and everyone at NTDA for making this very possible and for creating this platform for the tour. I also like to say thank you to everyone that was present at the event at the Federal Palace, the P-Man, all Nigerian artists, and gentlemen of the press who covered the event. My tour of Spain was made possible by all of you, and I deeply, deeply appreciate it. I attended 10 festivals, and I can tell you from number 1 to number 10, minimum performance on stage was 1 hour, maximum at some point 2 hours. The people kept asking for more. I also want Nigerians to know, especially talented Nigerians who have the talent in music, to know that there is a huge appetite for traditional music on the global stage. My colleagues in the Afrobeats genre and have dominated the space, and I congratulate them from the depth of my heart. Every Nigerian talent today wants to be like a Wizkid, like a Davido, like a Burna Boy, like a Tiwa Savage. The pressure is on them to want to emulate these global stars. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also say that there are talents in Nigeria who fit into the Afro culture genre, the traditional music, who should not give up hope in that regard, knowing fully well that there is a huge appetite for their genre of music on the global stage. I also want to implore and beg all platforms, OAPs, television stations, to please create a soft landing for talent. I will not call a name, but I know that on different occasions I have tried to put my music out there on radio stations, and I hear something like, can you pay 2 million? And so on and so forth. This is a huge pressure on talent. And I ask myself, how much am I streaming? You know, not everybody is a Burna Boy, not everybody is a Tiwa Savage, a Davido, a Wizkid streaming in millions. And I can tell you, my company, Nara Entertainment Productions, also acted as an agent for one of the A-list artists I have mentioned. And I tell you, the artist management billed my clients in the US $1 million, and they said they will pay. So somebody in that category can afford to pay an OAP 5 million to promote their music. What am I saying in a nutshell? While I was out there touring, making Nigeria proud, because I took the Nigerian flag, I literally took the Nigerian flag, I took the Lagos state flag, because I believe that every Nigerian must be a goodwill ambassador of our country and be patriotic. And I can tell you that the reaction I got each time I brought the Nigerian flag up gives me hope. Our country is a great country, and I believe strongly in Nigeria. Each time I brought the Lagos state flag up, it was greeted with applaud, you know. So I want us to be proud of our great country. Every country goes through a change. We have a new president. And for the first time in years, we have a president that listens and interacts. And I know that politics in Nigeria right now is, very shaky. I want people to know that I want people to know that, sorry about that. I want people to know that for every change comes with a level of discomfort. Every change in either our personal life or career life or spiritual life, every change comes with some level of discomfort. And I pray that God will see us through this change that we are going through for a greater Nigeria. So, having said that, every Nigerian should be a goodwill ambassador of this country, like I have done while out there in Spain. And I was so happy because, the image of our country out there based on a few things. Oh, everybody's not a Yahoo boy. Everybody's not a swindler. Everybody's not, you know what I mean? We need to know that we have, we as Nigerians have that task to make Nigeria great again. Americans will say, God bless America, not because things don't happen in America, but they confess positively about the country. Personally, I say to people, you cannot stand on the soil of this country and curse and expect to reap blessing. So let us bless our country with the words of our mouth. Even though the situation might look otherwise, but when we start praying for our leaders, when we start proclaiming, declaring, decreeing, God bless Nigeria, definitely our land is blessed. Out there, I was further encouraged and super happy to call myself a Nigerian. For our special talents, for our talented singers, rappers who want to do the indigenous thing, please don't be discouraged. There is a market for you. But I will beg all platforms, from radio to television to bloggers to everything, please encourage our talents. A lot of people are putting themselves under unnecessary, undue pressure because they want to meet up. They have the talent. But if you are not heard, a promoter can't come to you, a management can't sponsor you or bankroll your career because it takes a talent and a technique. We see Rema all over the place today. It's because there's a technique behind his talent, which is Don Jazzy. We see a Tiwa Savage today. There's a technique behind our talent. You understand? So before you can be they can't be recognized as talents. Before a technique can come behind and make them shine the way they should shine, they need to be heard. They need the media. They need the OAPs. They need the television station. I was having a discussion with one of the journalists here before I came on air, and she was trying to explain a few things to me. And I said, okay, but how do we do this to make it possible? As the first female talking drummer, the onus is on me to create a platform for other female talking drummers. And I always tell my girls all over Nigeria, anytime I have a conversation with them, that use me as your breakthrough button. Press that button. If I has done it, I can do it. As long as it's your calling, as long as you have that talent. And you can see the numerous girls who are into traditional drumming these days. They're making waves. We have as young as 6-year-olds. ARA is an institution, not just a talent, not just a brand. And out there, I reinforced this. And I said to them, as the first female talking drummer, I have opened doors and still opening and will continue to open doors for other female talking drummers. So it's not just about me coming to tour Spain. It's also about creating a market and possibly adding economic value, not just to these artists, female drummers and male drummers alike, but also to my country that I'm very proud of, Nigeria. I have said so much, and I still have more to say, but I want to leave the floor open just in case you have any form of question you want to ask me. Thank you. the youths and Nigerians in general, in addition to what she has said, in music, first and foremost, the likes of King Sunny Ade were selling out, concerts in the 70s and the 80s, even before we came on board, which means that there's been a huge appetite even before now. It's just that Afro beats, which has really done us proud and put us on the world map, has taken over. But what we are saying is that there is room and a huge appetite for traditional music. Also, speaking on being a patriotic Nigerian and changing the orientation of the youths and people, the perspective generally, apart from music and other aspects, movies, which you mentioned, I believe that our movie industry needs to sit back and reevaluate the messages they pass through our movies. The script writers, sorry. For instance, it is portrayed, because I'm saying this because out there, Ara's been in the industry, the Ara brand is 25 years, will be 25 years in experience and knowledge. Having traveled to different parts of the world performing before now, this was actually my very first tour, back to back. It really opened my eyes up to a lot of things. And it made me realize that we are not as bad as we make ourselves look. We definitely are not. My band and I and the other group, Root Mahogany, we all realize that we actually have a great country. We just don't realize it or appreciate it enough. And in the ways, on social media, for instance, in the ways we project what's happening in our country and blow it out of proportion, we need to please watch that. The movies also project to a very large extent the fact that for you to become somebody in life, both in Yoruba and the English speaking, it's either you're a prostitute, it's either you do rituals, it's either you steal, it's either you do house girl and take over madam's husband. All of this is what has informed the youth of today. They don't believe in due process or hard work, which is very important. When you plant a seed, you water it, it grows. There is a due process. Even our God, the universe, was not created in one day. It took it step by step. The Nigerian youth wants to wake up today and become a billionaire tomorrow morning, which has really affected everything in this country. The Nigerian youth needs to realize that we have a great country and there is no cutting corners. Yes, we can point fingers at politicians and all of that and everything. But what about you? It starts with you and I, making Nigeria great. Nigeria is great, too. I can get emotional speaking about Nigeria because over the years I've known, and I cannot stop believing in this country. We have to make this country great again. And it's in your hands. We can talk about it for the rest of today, but I'd like to cut it short here and say that we all need to take a backseat and reevaluate things. What are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong as an individual and as Nigerians? This country is a great country, believe me, and we need to move it forward. Thank you. You understand? From them, because they offered you. But when an artist says, oh, can I bring my music? It's not like, okay, it's not like you shouldn't even pay anything like, oh, appreciate the OAP. I know of one of my colleagues who bought all the AP's iPhone.
I didn't get it.
Like most of the OAPs, an iPhone, right? Because he can afford it. His music is streaming in millions, right? So when I know that when they hear Ara, they hear dollar, they hear euro, they hear pounds. But I'm not streaming in millions. I'm not an Afrobeat artist. You understand? So I'm not saying I want to appreciate you for playing my music or But then 2 million, how about, that's a lot of money.
Making it a condition.
Yeah, making it a condition. So that's a throw off for me. But when you hear artists who are genuinely talented, who are upcoming, but genuinely talented, please help them, support them to blow.
And this same upcoming artist, when you support them.
Also matters. You work with people. There are people who have helped you. Because no man is an island. You didn't get there just by your talent. A lot of people also spent their human capital, which is the most expensive. So if somebody does that for you, you should appreciate, which is why I appreciate when they have those music seminars, teaching talents on how to manage not just their talent, but also the other part of talent, because talent is never enough. Thank you. Okay. Have I answered your question? Thank you.